I'm honored, exhausted, thrilled, nervous, and incredibly humbled. Thank you. My name is Gilad Cohen, and I'm the founder of Jayu and lead programmer for this year's festival. Nice. Yeah, right? I would like to thank our presenting sponsor, Humber College, for helping us this year in our mission of raising awareness of the world's most important stories and laying the groundwork for change through cinema. This year's festival showcases 19 brilliant films focusing on 16 different countries, with 13 premieres, all focusing on the themes of persecution, women and children, and change. Wherever men and women are persecuted because of their race, religion, orientation, or political view, that place must, at the moment, become the center of our universe. We are here this weekend to meet some of these incredible men and women and to better understand the struggles they have faced in places both near and far. Our films will introduce you to an incredible group of people, from authors, musicians, and filmmakers, to activists, refugees, and freedom fighters. My greatest hope, and the greatest hope of Jayu, is that you walk away more aware and with a strong hunger to ask questions and learn more. Jayu in Korean translates to freedom, and for us, freedom is the dominance of human rights everywhere and for everyone. This effort, this festival, goes out to those who struggled to gain those rights and fight every day to keep them. Our strength comes from the unity of that very purpose. One thing I've come to understand is that we are all connected, and as such, we should love one another accordingly. Thank you again for joining us. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. James Cullen, the Associate Dean at the Humber School of Business.
Thanks, Gilad. So as Gilad said, I'm with Humber College, and we are very proud to be the program sponsor for this Human Rights Festival. And we're proud to be associated with Jayu for three reasons. First, Gilad is a graduate, an alumni of Humber, and we're always proud and supportive of our alumni. Secondly, Jayu has provided a large number of learning engagement opportunities in the form of internships and a variety of other opportunities for our students. And that applied learning is central to our goals and our reason for existence at Humber College. And the third reason is that the values that Jayu stands for are tightly aligned with the values that Humber lives by. At Humber, we're committed to both individual development and community development. And what we know is that human rights are a precondition to any form of development. And so in that regard, I want to thank you for this opportunity to support this important mission. Thanks.
Thanks, James. I would like to thank Humber for trusting our young festival with their sponsorship. This means so much to us as an organization, as this is the first time we've actually had a presenting sponsor as a young organization, but also to me personally as a Humber alumni, as you've shown to me how much community really means to all of us. So your support is invaluable. Now, the reason you're here, the two films you'll be watching tonight. I'm incredibly honored to welcome you to the world premiere of up-and-coming Toronto-based filmmaker Rodrigo Michelangeli's short film, Bullets of Peace. This film will be followed up with the Canadian premiere of Rachel Beth Anderson and Timothy Grucha's film, First to Fall. Please help me in welcoming to the stage our filmmakers for this evening. The filmmakers for both of these films will be joining us on stage, in addition to a very special guest from First to Fall for a Q&A following the conclusion of the presentations. So please remember to stick around for that. We would like to thank our presenting sponsor, Humber College. We would also like to thank our wonderful co-presenters, Human Rights Watch and Regent Park, as well as the City of Toronto through the Toronto Arts Council for putting this on. A big thank you to the staff at TIFF for helping us coordinate this festival here today, and more thanks goes out to our dedicated volunteers. Please help me in thanking them, especially for today, which is declared International Volunteer Day. My last thanks goes out to everyone in the cinema. A film on its own is not as powerful as what you, the audience, are able to do with it. If there's one measure of success for us as an organization, it's that everyone in the cinema take these stories they've heard here this weekend and share them with everyone they know. Change very much starts with each and every one of you. I'm also excited to announce that everyone in the cinema is invited to join us at 918 Bathurst for our official opening night party sponsored by Momofuku, Amsterdam Brewery, and Tall Boys. What does this mean? It means free food and free beer. That's the biggest applause we've gotten. Thanks, guys. So I hope you guys can join us. Everyone should have received a survey. We ask that you kindly fill these out and return them to a volunteer as soon as the film is over. Your feedback is valuable and helps us improve with future programming. Jayu is a non-profit organization that relies on the support of our community. We have a crowdfunding campaign that we've reached over. We just hit 80% of our campaign, and we've got 2 days left to go. So we encourage everyone here to check out jayu.ca/donate to contribute. Just joking. How's everybody doing? Yeah, good? Great? Great, give me 1 sec. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us here tonight. I understand we have a special guest here this evening. Maybe Rachel and Timothy, I'll let you guys introduce.
Yes, we have a very special guest who allowed us to follow him around for multiple years and it was amazing to be so open, and I'm so excited that he's here, and this is the first time we've been able to share this with him. So please come out.
Hi, Tarek. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for joining us here today. It's really brave. Thank you so much. I'm going to start a couple questions. I'm going to start with Rodrigo. So first of all, as a Toronto filmmaker, thank you so much for representing our city with your film. I understand you're from Venezuela. How long have you been living in Toronto, and what inspired you to make this film today?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of your amazing festival. It's an honor for me to be able to be here sitting with you all. Yes, I'm from Venezuela. I've been here in Toronto for 3 years now. I studied film here at York University. And you asked me what inspired me to make this film. Actually, the impossibility to be able to go there to make another film. So I was going there, and I was going to do my final project for school. And I had my flight booked for February the 23rd, and on February the 12th, the student protest started, and the government started killing people. So I couldn't go, my crew couldn't go. We were all ready to go. And I had to find something to do for my project. So the thing that I was going to do over there originally had nothing to do with politics or the inherent problem that we're living in Venezuela since, well, I'd say since 15 years ago. And all I can think about was that, right? Just like you guys on Facebook and Twitter all the time. Right, and I was supposed to deliver something to my school, and I couldn't because my country whatever was happening in my country was taking all that attention from me. So I had to do something about it, right? Since I couldn't go and be there, so I did that.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film. A real honor for us to open with it. My next question is for you guys. What's changed since this film has come out?
I think Tarek might want to answer this, but what's changed in Libya?
Yeah.
Well, Tarek, maybe you want to talk about that.
Well, it's very hard for me to answer this question because I haven't been there for a while. I went last summer, this past one. It's still messy there, you know. It's a new government. Some people are fine with the democracy. Some people are not. Some people just want to have control because they always say this, you know, power in Libya is more attainable than any time now. So it's everybody's chance. If you didn't do it for the past 40 years, there was someone there. Now it's messy. If you can do it, it's easier. You know, we're hoping that as the time goes, it gets better. Then it will be harder, you know, if things get better. So that's the thing now.
I'm sure the audience has a ton of questions here. I'm going to open it up. We have a couple of mic runners. I just want to point out, wait until you have a mic and then ask the question. So right there in the middle.
Thank you so much for making this movie. It was really moving, and Tarek, thank you for sharing your story. It really gave a bit of a feeling of what it's like to be there on the ground, and it's definitely not something that you really get when you watch the news. I wanted to ask you, Rachel, how did this story come to you, and what was the process of getting it off the ground? What was it for you as a woman on the ground in Libya, and how many cameramen did you have?
Well, actually, the reason that this specific story was able to be out in the world was because of Tarek. I remember I was living and working in Cairo as a journalist and covered the Egyptian Revolution, and then Libya happened, and I crossed into Libya thinking I was going to be there for a week-long assignment. That wrapped up, and I realized it was such a much bigger story, and I kind of fell in love with Libya and the people, and I was talking to others that I was working with and telling them that I really wanted to work with the youth, and especially these young guys that have never fought before, and they're like, oh, well, I know this guy Tarek and some of his friends that left Canada. And I was like, I'd love to meet them. So I don't know if you remember this, Tarek, but the first time I met you outside of the training camp, and I go up and it's like, hey, let me follow you around 24 hours a day for the rest of your life. But once I heard Tarek's story and heard that he had just left his studies, but he still was going to go back one day maybe, and he had all these aspirations, but he had left everything to come and to fight for something that he so deeply believed in. I wanted to understand that, and so after a bit of convincing, I think,
Hope you did.
yeah, I was able to convince Tarek to let me follow him around. But it was actually, there was ups and downs as far as the filming process. Because as I said, I thought I was going to be there for a week, and that turned into a month, 2 months, 3 months, and eventually it ended up being about 7 months on the ground, and then a year later, 2 years later, and then it took 3 years to finish the film. But I'm really glad it did, because it allowed me to really spend a lot of time and to get to understand Tarek and Hamid and everybody in Libya, so I could actually give an honest story instead of what you just normally see on the news.
Thanks, Rachel. Any more questions in the audience? Right here in the middle.
Hi, my question, I'm Hamid from Algeria, by the way. Hi, Tariq. So I would like to ask you a question. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You were fighting in your country. So I would like to ask you this question. Are you going to fight again in another way, which means like building and making peace now in Libya? And if yes, how you are going to make it? And it's sad for me that I just read at the end of the movie that you didn't speak to Hamid since a while. So are you going to keep in touch with him? Thank you.
Okay, sorry, what was the first question?
Yeah, the first question, you were fighting before, yeah? So
Yeah.
Do you think that there is another way to fight now, like to build peace in Libya now? because I know the culture in North Africa. It's about tribute. I can speak in French. Culture tribale, which means that Libya is divided in so many cultures and ethnies. So are you going now to build this, to fight building of peace in Libya? Thank you.
Hopefully, I think we have given it like a lot of our time, a lot of efforts, a lot of things. We're not gonna let it go like this. It's tough, you know, when politics gets mixed with. It's dirty. I always say this, you know. If you really can do something, you know, and you're willing to do it, there might be other people who don't let you do it. But hopefully not at this period of time. I have other things to pay attention for, probably health, get a good education, and I hope I can give whatever I have again, you know, I'm willing. I didn't regret what happened. It was a decision that I took. It was a big decision, but it was my own. Nobody pushed me to do such a thing, so I really believe in it.
Thanks. How about the second question? Are you going to keep in touch with Hamid?
Yeah, we do sometimes, you know. He's I don't know how to tell you that. He has seen a lot, you know. So sometimes it's not. I don't like it, but if you turn around and leave things, sometimes it's easier for you, you know. You probably suffer less. I haven't known the reason why we haven't been in touch. We have did some messaging, you know, but not as we were before. Once again, like I didn't really know the reason, but I'm hopefully gonna try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tarek. Are there any other questions here? So I'm going to ask a question just related to, for both of, all of the filmmakers here, just about safety and security. I'll ask it in two parts. Rodrigo, with this film coming out, has it at all made you worry about your safety or your security or the safety and security of your family back in Venezuela?
Well, actually, the film hasn't been released in any other platform than this one today. So I really don't know. At that time, it was very tough to decide what to do with it because it would have been very viral, and I thought about just putting it in YouTube at that time because it would have given some kind of strength to the people that were, you know, protesting down there, to my friends who were actually down there, my parents. But at the same time, I didn't want this piece to just become something completely politicized, you know, something that the government would take as a flag to just say, you know, this was probably paid by the CIA, you know, or whatever. So I didn't want that piece to end like that. So I really think that places like doing something like this today it's worth it, you know, so much more. I'm not really worried about my security because if doing a film and if talking about what we think is right is something that is going to make us feel afraid, well, there you have a corrupted regime right there, right? It's easy to identify. So no, I'm not afraid. I'm actually happy to be here and to be able to show you guys a bit of, yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The question goes back to you guys. So going into Libya as two Western filmmakers, what sort of measures are you taking to increase your safety or your security?
You know, the first time, we were actually talking about this earlier today. The first time that I went in, it was a very different situation because I, you know, left Egypt, which was a revolution, thinking I was being covering another revolution, and that revolution turned into a war very quickly once Gaddafi turned his guns on his own people. And so it was about adapting and figuring out a way to keep myself safe once I was in the situation. And, you know, one of the, you know, having conversations with Tim after, you know, he has so much experience working in these conflict situations, the thing that he told me was, don't ever feel the pressure to go to the front line. Go to the front line when it's necessary for your story, you get what you need and you get out. And that was kind of the mantra that I held with myself for the entire time that I was filming in Libya.
Tim.
Well, I guess maybe I'm off topic here a little bit, but it reminds me of the question earlier that said, how many cameramen did you have? Well, it was just Rachel. And maybe 100 Libyan guys with cameras and cell phones, and this is a new way of covering conflict now, and that where us white guys, we can only do so much. We can only get so close, and we can only bring back a certain amount. But as you saw in the film, the way that Hamid started, and a lot of the media group that he was with, they realized that having a camera was as powerful as having a gun, if not perhaps more so. And I think this is a new way of storytelling. The chance that we all have HD cameras inside our telephones now, we can get a lot more footage that way. And I think that is probably the way that we will have more images from situations like this, more extreme and more closer to the reality. And yeah, I think it's an exciting time for the documentary.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Any other questions here? There's one here in the middle.
It was a great picture. Thank you so much for sharing. I just had a quick question. Something that stood out for me was Hamid, he was saying he'll never be the same, seeing all that footage, like everything that he experienced. How about yourself? Like, you were on the front lines as well, like with the camera. So how do you cope with it on a daily basis?
You want?
Who's the question directed to?
Is it to?
I was asking Rachel, yeah.
Oh.
Got confused there.
You know, for this film in general, I mean, you know, after going through it, I mean, I had to watch this footage so many times, it just became kind of, you know, something very normal to me, actually, by the end of it. I just, you know, looked at it in a very specific way, and it was just very, it wasn't, you know, you almost lose your attachment to, you know, the footage when you're building this film and you watch it so many times. But I actually haven't watched the full film, for almost a year because of, you know, I see bits and pieces every once in a while at these festivals and kind of, you know, you get enough of it because it was such an intense moment. And other films that I've worked on that I've seen, not being a part of the editing process, but just seeing on screen at the end, it's hard to explain seeing a moment that you lived, edited and cut up. So, I mean, I know for me, I was very nervous actually for Tarek to, you know, see this and to see his response because you know, I felt a huge responsibility working with Tarek and all the Libyans for so long, and I think we talked about this all the time to make sure that what we show was honest and true, and you know, to be able to sit through this entire film, and you know, I guess I'm still so moved that Tarek is here tonight. So that didn't really answer your question at all. Sorry about that, but
That was a great response.
yeah.
And also, Tarek, how about yourself? Like, how do you go forward? Like,
Well, I don't know. Probably I feel that I was affected, you know, and or changed physically, but not really mentally, you know. For me, it passed like it's well, it was crazy, you know. It was dangerous. It was tough, you know. I don't know how many like nervous breakdown I had, but after, you know, after achieving the victory, I'm more into the future, what's gonna happen, you know, like I left what has left behind, so this is, it's a good thing, you know. Not everybody has it, not everybody can do it, but I had to forget it, keep going. You're welcome.
We'll go here in the middle and then in the back.
And it's very difficult to fight from here because even the people down there that are on your side can be a bit skeptical about, you know, people outside the country saying things about what's happening in there. So it's very delicate, it's very difficult, and I guess just from my part, just keep doing art and keep doing what I do. I think that's the only way, and everyone down there have their own conflicts, right? So it's crazy because the whole world, like for me right now, it's just crazy, man. but yeah, I don't know. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
On that note, totally agreed, guys. Everyone, please again help me in thanking all of you guys for coming here today.
There's one more thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think I really don't have a better chance to say it, you know, for everyone, from the people who picked me up from the front line until the guy who walked me to that door. I'm very thankful. Without their support, like doctors, physiotherapists, everybody, whoever have advised me, and for sure my brother-in-law, who had given me like 3 years of his time, now only like me. That's really a lot. Thank you so much, Ismail. Thank you all.